All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and I'm feeling that end-of-year pressure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that like December 30th scramble.
Big time.
But luckily, that's why we're here, right? We're diving into last-minute fundraising.
Yes, we are.
We've got a whole stack of articles about how to really make the most of these last few hours to like really squeeze every last drop of generosity out of the year.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because one of these articles mentioned that something like 10% of donations come in
Oh, wow.
during the last 3 days of December.
Really?
It's crazy, right?
That is wild. Yeah,
Huge opportunity.
definitely is.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of these articles talk about online fundraising.
Right.
Obviously, it's essential, but
2024.
it's 2024, right?
Yeah.
And it's December 30th.
Yeah.
Everyone's bombarded with these like online appeals.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we even stand out at this point?
You're so right. I mean, inboxes are flooded.
Mm.
Social media is just a constant stream of asks. Yeah. But one thing that I noticed in a lot of these articles is that we really need to focus on making that donation process
Okay.
as frictionless as possible.
Frictionless. Okay, so like I'm thinking, you know those times when you're shopping online and you like add a bunch of stuff to your cart?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And then you get to that checkout and it's like, oh, I got to create an account and I got to enter all this information.
You've got too many steps.
And you just abandon it.
Absolutely.
It's the same idea
Exactly the same.
with donations.
People are busy. They want it to be easy.
So mobile optimization, clear calls to action, all of that.
All of it super important.
Got it.
One of the articles even talked about a platform called Help You Sponsor.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
I have not.
It's interesting. They say that it can automate a lot of that outreach,
Mm.
but still keep things feeling personal.
Okay. Automation, interesting, but I always get a little nervous about that, you know,
Yeah.
especially this time of year. You want it to feel
Authentic.
authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that for sure. But think about it this way. What if that automation actually freed up your time
Okay.
to focus on the donors who really need that personal touch, like your major donor,
That's a good point.
you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's talk about those major donors or even just like past donors in general.
right.
All these articles were saying how they're like your most valuable asset,
Absolutely. Low-hanging fruit.
especially now.
These like last-minute asks.
Yeah, because they already know you.
Right.
They've already given.
They've already bought in
Exactly.
to your organization.
But we can't just send them like a generic plea, right?
No.
We need to make them feel valued.
Yeah.
Remind them why they connected with your cause in the first place.
Okay, so how do we do that without being like
Cheesy.
cheesy or like
Salesy.
salesy or just like disingenuous?
Inauthentic.
Inauthentic, yes.
Right.
That's the word.
One article had a really good idea. They said, segment your past donors.
Based on like their giving history, and then craft personalized messages that speak to their specific interests.
So like, for example, if someone's consistently donated to your education program, you might highlight a specific student
Right.
whose life has been changed
Exactly.
by their support.
Keep it personal.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
It's like you're not just asking for money, you're inviting them to be part of a story.
That's it.
Oh, that's good.
It makes it real.
It's so true. And it reminds me of those like year-end reports that organizations send out with like photos and stories and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Those are great.
Those always get me
They work.
because it's like emotional, right?
Yeah, totally. Humans are wired for stories.
So weaving those stories into our year-end appeals is a really powerful way to connect
For sure.
on a deeper level.
It's not just about the numbers.
Yeah.
It's about the impact.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Good.
So we've talked about online giving, re-engaging past donors. What else do these articles have in store for us?
Well, a few of them mentioned virtual events
Oh.
as a way to quickly connect with a larger audience.
Virtual events. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little burned out on Zoom
I hear you.
after the past few years.
Yeah, we've all been there.
So how do we make them stand out?
Right.
How do we make sure they're not just another webinar?
You're asking the right questions.
That's going straight to my spam folder.
Totally. So it's all about finding the right format and really prioritizing engagement.
Okay.
One article suggested doing like a live donation drive during a webinar,
Interesting.
maybe with some real-time matching gift opportunities,
Oh, I like that.
you know, to add a little excitement.
Yeah, that sense of urgency.
Exactly.
That's good.
What about those child sponsorship programs?
Oh, yeah.
I saw a couple articles mention those.
Yeah.
They were suggesting virtual meet and greets
Oh,
where potential sponsors could like actually interact
Oh, that's cool.
with the kids they might be supporting.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be really powerful.
Right.
Okay. I'm starting to come around to this virtual event thing.
Good.
Because I think if you do it right,
Yeah.
it can be really impactful.
And there are some great platforms out there that can help,
Oh, yeah.
like Classy,
Mm-hmm.
that can make managing those events and the donations way easier.
Okay, technology can be our friend.
It can be.
All right, so speaking of maximizing donations,
Yes.
let's talk about corporate matching gift programs.
Oh, yes.
I feel like this is like a secret weapon
It is.
that so many organizations are just like leaving on the table.
It's free money,
It's free money.
essentially.
But so many people don't even realize
I know.
their companies offer this.
It's crazy.
So how do we get the word out?
A few of the articles had some good tips.
Okay.
One suggested embedding a matching gift search tool right on your donation page.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Have you?
You just type in your company name.
Yep.
And it tells you.
It tells you if they have a program.
If they'll match it. So easy. And there are platforms like Wordbelow that can like integrate that functionality for you.
Cool.
And don't forget about those email reminders.
Yeah.
Just a little nudge.
Especially with that December 31st deadline.
Huge.
Most companies need those submissions by then.
That's right. That sense of urgency
Yes.
can be a really powerful motivator.
Okay, so we've covered optimizing online giving,
Mm-hmm.
re-engaging past donors,
Yep.
leveraging virtual events,
Uh-huh.
tapping into those corporate matching programs.
Yes.
What's next on our list of last-minute fundraising magic?
Well, let's talk about the messaging itself.
Okay.
Because even with the best technology, the best strategies,
Right.
if your message isn't resonating,
Yeah.
people aren't going to donate.
So what makes a message resonate,
Right.
especially during the holidays?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
These articles had a lot to say about persuasion.
Okay.
You know, the psychology of it all.
For example, have you ever noticed how you're way more likely to buy something
Oh, yeah.
if it's a limited time offer?
Totally.
Fear of missing out?
FOMO?
FOMO?
It gets me every time.
That's the power of scarcity.
Right.
And you can use that same principle in your fundraising appeals.
So instead of just like, please donate,
Right.
we might say donate by December 31st
Yeah.
to double your impact with a matching gift.
Perfect.
Dude.
You've got a deadline.
Yeah.
You've emphasized the impact, and you've even thrown in that matching gift incentive.
Ooh, I like it.
Right.
That feels so much better
It's more compelling.
than just like a generic ask.
It is.
Okay, what other psychological tricks
Ooh, I like that.
can we use?
Psychological tricks. I like
I
it.
don't know that's what they feel like.
Yeah.
Well, another one is impact statements.
okay.
Instead of talking about your organization's overall goals,
Right.
you connect those goals to tangible outcomes.
So instead of saying we're working to reduce hunger in our community,
Right. You might say a $50 donation
yes,
provides a week's worth of meals
perfect.
for a family in need.
Exactly. You're painting a picture.
Ah, I love that.
It's not just an abstract concept.
Yeah.
It's real.
Okay, and this is like that whole thing. People don't give to institutions, they give to stories.
That's it.
It's so true.
That's the heart of it.
All right, and then what about progress updates?
Oh, those are good.
Because people like to feel like they're part of a winning team.
Yes, they want to see that their contribution is making a difference.
So you could send out an email that's like, we're only $10,000 away from reaching our goal.
Yeah.
Help us get there before the year ends.
Loving it. You've created a sense of momentum.
Yes.
You've highlighted a clear goal,
Mm-hmm.
and you've emphasized the urgency.
Okay. I'm feeling motivated,
I love it.
ready to revamp all my year-end messaging.
Go for it.
But before we get too caught up in the last-minute scramble, these articles also talked about the importance of nurturing donor relationships beyond just December 31st.
Yes.
It feels like we're just kind of scratching the surface here
Yeah.
of a much bigger conversation.
Absolutely.
So how do we transition from this sense of like urgency and scarcity
Right.
to a more like sustainable long-term approach to donor engagement?
That is a great question, and that is where I think we should pick up in our next segment.
Okay.
Because it's not just about this year-end push.
Yeah,
It's about building relationships that last.
that's what we want.
That's the key to long-term success.
All right, so stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive on last-minute fundraising, where we'll be talking about how to turn those year-end donors into lifelong supporters.
I'm excited for this.
Me too.
It's going to be good.
All right, see you then.
Yeah, it's so easy to get swept up in all that,
The chaos.
the year-end craziness,
Yes.
the deadlines, the
Very
pressure.
pressure.
But as we kind of shift gears here,
Okay.
I want to challenge you to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Not as like an endpoint,
Okay.
but as a springboard.
Ooh, I like that.
for building those deeper donor relationships throughout
Yeah.
the year.
Okay, so we've talked about the psychology of like scarcity and urgency, all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
All the FOMO.
Yes, all the
The
FOMA.
limited time offers.
But now how do we transition from
Yes.
that mindset to one of like
Ongoing engagement.
ongoing engagement? Yes,
Yes.
that's the key.
One of the articles used this analogy that I really like.
Right.
They talked about nurturing donor relationships
Hmm.
as like tending a garden.
Ooh.
You plant the seeds,
Okay.
you water them, you nourish them.
Yeah.
And then over time, you get to enjoy those beautiful blooms.
I love that.
So how do we water and nourish those donor relationships?
Yes. How do we do that?
In a way that feels, authentic and genuine,
Meaningful.
meaningful.
Yeah.
It's about staying connected, showing appreciation beyond just those automated thank you emails.
Right. Because those are important.
They are
But it's not enough.
not enough.
You need to go further.
So share regular updates with your donors.
Okay.
Let them know how their donations are making a difference.
Okay. So like,
Use photo stories, infographics.
so it's like we're inviting them to be part of the journey.
Yes.
Not just a one-time transaction.
Exactly. And I think transparency is so important, communication.
Mm.
When donors can see those tangible results,
Yeah.
they're more likely to stay engaged and to give again in the future.
Makes sense.
Right.
So, okay, what about those major donors?
Oh, yeah.
The ones who really go above and beyond?
The rock stars.
Yes.
How do we make them feel extra special?
Yeah.
Well, for those folks,
Okay.
it's all about personalized stewardship.
Okay.
One article suggested hosting virtual meetings
Okay.
where those donors can actually hear directly from the people they're impacting.
Wow.
It kind of closes the loop.
It
It
does.
shows them firsthand the difference they're making.
That's powerful.
Right. And remember, that personalized approach can work for other donor segments too.
Okay.
Think about your regular supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledge their loyalty in your communications.
Okay.
Maybe give them early access to updates or invitations to special events.
Ooh, I like those.
Make them feel like VIPs.
Okay, so it's all about treating our donors like the VIPs they are.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
when you make people feel appreciated
Yeah.
and connected to your cause,
Mm-hmm.
they're more likely to stick around.
Become lifelong supporters. Exactly. Okay, I am feeling very inspired,
Good.
ready to like level up my donor engagement game.
I love it.
But before we wrap up,
Yes.
what's like that one final thought you want to leave our listener with?
Okay, let me
That
throw.
like nugget of wisdom
Okay.
that'll stick with them?
All right, well, here it is.
Okay.
While the year-end push is super important,
Right.
it's really just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
The real magic happens when we build a culture of generosity and engagement that extends throughout the entire year.
So it's not just about asking for donations, it's about creating a community
A community.
of passionate supporters.
Yes, and think about it. Every interaction you have with your donors,
Okay.
it's an opportunity to deepen that relationship.
So whether it's a thank you note, a project update,
Mm-hmm.
an invitation to an event,
Anything.
you're building that foundation
Yes.
of trust and shared purpose.
That's what it's all about.
So the challenge for our listener is to take this year-end momentum
Right.
and turn it into those lasting connections
Yes.
that'll fuel their mission for years to come.
That's it.
Okay. I love how you frame that.
It's not just about hitting that end-of-year goal.
Right.
It's about building a sustainable future
Yes.
for your organization.
That's beautiful.
And I think with the right strategies
Mm-hmm.
and a genuine commitment to those donor relationships,
Yeah.
you can achieve both.
Okay. I am feeling very inspired, and I think it's time to move on to part 3,
Let's do it.
where we'll actually get into those tactical tips
Yes.
for making the most of these last few hours.
I'm ready.
Me too. I love that taking all this energy and like channeling it into something that's going to bloom for months to come.
Yeah.
It makes these last-minute appeals feel less like a frantic scramble and more like,
Like we're planting seeds.
yes, planting seeds for the future.
I like it.
But, okay, let's be real.
Yeah.
It's still December 30th.
Is
You've
it-
got a deadline.
We do.
So for our listeners who are like,
In the trenches.
in the trenches, yes.
Give me those last-minute tips.
Yes. What are those key takeaways
Okay.
that they can implement right now?
So first things first, online giving has to be as easy as possible.
Easy peasy.
Mobile optimization is key.
Yes.
People should be able to donate with just a few taps on their phone.
A couple swipes.
And if you can automate some of those outreach tasks, even better.
Right.
And free up your time to focus on those personal touches.
Those high impact activities. Okay, and speaking of personal touches,
Yes?
don't forget about your loyal donors.
Those MVPs,
They're MVPs, the ones who've been with you.
they're your rock stars.
Yeah.
Send them a personalized appeal.
Yes.
Remind them of the impact they've made.
Make them feel good.
Make them feel good.
Okay, and I have to say, I am officially a convert
Oh, good.
to the power of virtual events.
Yes.
I was a little skeptical,
I know you were.
but I think if you do them right,
Yeah.
they can be so effective.
They can be really engaging.
Especially in these last few hours.
You can get creative with the format.
Yeah.
Tell those compelling stories.
Webinars live donation drives those virtual meet and greets.
All great options.
Okay. And of course, we can't forget about...
Matching gifts.
Yes!
Corporate matching gifts.
They can make such a big difference.
I know it's like free money.
Free money.
So make sure your donors know about them.
Yes.
And that it's super easy to participate.
And then finally, those messages.
Yes.
We got to craft them.
With that sense of urgency.
Urgency, impact, impact, all of that good stuff.
Highlight those deadlines.
Yes.
Showcase the impact of each donation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keep those progress updates coming.
Momentum.
Momentum.
Okay, so as we wrap up,
Yeah.
it's not just about asking for money.
Right.
It's about inviting people.
To be part of something bigger.
Yes, to join you on this journey.
Exactly.
I think we've given our listener a lot to think about,
I think so too.
both for this year-end push and for the future of their organization.
It's been a pleasure diving into this with you.
Me too. I always learn so much from these conversations.
Likewise.
And I have a feeling our listeners are going to head into the new year
Oh, yeah.
feeling energized,
Energized and inspired.
ready to make a difference.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone, that's a wrap for our last-minute fundraising deep dive.
Sad to see it go.
I know, but we'll be back next time with another topic.
You will.
Until then, happy fundraising and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.